Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. It is our pleasure now to be joined by a Super Bowl champion, a two-time Pro Bowler, a man of many talents. Football's just one of them. So much to get to with the one and only Vernon Davis. Vernon, thanks so much for the time and for doing this today. Okay, let's get right to it. You're going to be co-hosting the USA Today High School Sports Awards with Rob Gronkowski. Do you actually believe that Gronkowski is going to stay retired?
I do believe that Rob Gronkowski is going to stay retired. I think he's made his mind up. And when I saw him not too long ago, I felt like he was pleased with his decision. So I think he's really going to stay out of retire. I don't see him going back. Okay,
Vernon, if he does stay retired, does he end his career as the greatest tight end in NFL history?
Oh, of course. I think he ends his career as one of the greatest tight ends, the greatest tight end in NFL history. I think what he's been able to do, the wins, the accolades, everything, just he's amazing. He's definitely my top tight end of all time.
Vernon Davis is our guest. He's going to be co-hosting the USA Today High School Sports Awards, and we're going to ask more questions about that in just a moment. But Vernon, one of the teams you played for a long time, had a lot of success with, is the San Francisco 49ers. And they find themselves like at a bit of a crossroads here because they obviously, spent a lot of draft capital to trade up for Trey Lance, who sat last year behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Yet Garoppolo is still on the team. Can they go into the season with Garoppolo in that quarterback room?
Yeah, I think it's awesome to be able to have two great quarterbacks. I mean, you never know when a guy's going to go down. So you give Trey Lance, you give him his space to do what he needs to do and become the leader for this team and the quarterback that they've drafted him to be, as he's been learning behind Jimmy G. So I think it's awesome. I know Jimmy G's probably not happy. He's not going to say it. He's going to be politically correct and say that he's okay with it. But deep down inside, he wants to be that starter. But look, it's a game of football. At the end of the day, the GM, the coaches have to make a decision. And Trey Lance, actually, he fits the description for what they want. And I think he's talented. I think he's going to do really well. It's up to him to be able to utilize his mind, because we know how talented he is. We know he can throw, he can run, he can do it all. But mentally, can he get it done? Can he be that leader that they expect him to be?
Well, you have another interesting situation in San Francisco with Deebo Samuel. Seems like he hasn't quite rescinded that trade request. How do you expect that to play out this season?
Look, I think if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, I'm going to give Deebo Samuel everything he wants. Because you can't let a guy like him get away. I mean, what he brings to the game. I mean, he could do it all. He can run. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. You could probably put the guy over on defense if you wanted to. I mean, he's that talented. I've never seen anything like it. He's definitely one of the most exciting players the franchise has ever had. So I think if I'm them, I will, give him what he wants and keep him. Try to keep him. Make him happy.
I'm with you, but here's something that since I never play the game and I've never been in a huddle like that, I have trouble kind of figuring out what this would look like in real time. Okay, let's just play it out. Deebo Samuel doesn't want to carry the ball, doesn't want to be running between the tackles, which I get. But you find yourself in Lambeau Field. You're facing, I don't know, a 3rd and 7. Say the game's on the line. I'm just pulling this out of thin air, of course. There's no way that Deebo, could he refuse to carry the ball? Like, how does this actually play out in real life if he doesn't want to play this role?
Look, for me, if I'm Deebo Samuel, if you're good, whatever you're good at, then don't complain and say you don't want to do it. You don't have that right. You didn't say you didn't want to do it before you got there, right? Did he complain about him running the ball? No, he did everything that he could possibly do to make sure that he earned himself a spot on any NFL roster. I mean, it's an opportunity. It's a great platform. We don't have too much to say about what we want to do. But, like I said, if I was him, I'll just do whatever it is that I know I'm good at. If you're great at carrying the ball, carry the ball. If you're great at catching the ball, catch the ball. Do it all.
All right, Vernon, I got a tight end question. The New England Patriots have a lot invested at tight end, and I would argue not that much invested at wide receiver. Can you run an offense in today's game where the tight end is the number one weapon and maybe even the number 2 in New England, maybe the number 1 in Kansas City? Can the tight end be the top receiver in a modern offense?
Yeah, if you have a tight end like George Kittle or Travis Kelce, absolutely, they can definitely be the number one option at any given moment because they create mismatches. You can't put a corner on them. You can't put a linebacker on them. You can't put a safety on them. Who you gonna put on? You try to put a defensive lineman on. Oh, it's over. Forget about it. You're gonna get fired. The whole team gets fired. But so who you gonna put on that guy? I mean, there's no other person, a wide receiver. I mean, I just can't think of a position that's more dominant than the tight end position, especially if you got a guy like the names I just said. I mean, I think of course, absolutely.
For Darren Waller, he finds himself now in an offense that just got a lot more dynamic in this offseason because Davante Adams was traded over to the Las Vegas Raiders. But this is a guy who's also going to be looking for a big contract at some point. And it wouldn't be crazy to think his numbers might go down a little bit, again, just because of the number of weapons on this offense. How do you go into the season if you're Waller? I feel like he could be a candidate for the next disgruntled star. Not that he would be disgruntled, but someone who's looking for a big contract who might not get it with their current team.
Well, I think if I'm Darren Waller, I mean, he really don't have any choice. I mean, what can he request a trade? And maybe if he want to go to another team, then okay, so be it. But if there's nothing you can really do about it, right? The team understands who you are. They know what they have in you as far as talent. I think at the end of the day, you do everything that you have to do to be the best that you can possibly be and stay who you are. Everything's going to work out for you. You're going to get your targets. There's going to be some games where you're not going to get as many targets. There'll be games where you get a lot of targets. And just show whenever you have that opportunity to get the ball, do what you have to do. It doesn't matter if your numbers go down. The next year, you get your numbers back up. It's okay. I mean, you playing this game. You can only control what you can control, and at the end of the day, that's just what it is.
How do you expect Davante Adams to do in that offense? He was the only target in Green Bay. Now he's going to be sharing with Renfro, Waller. Do you think they'll spread the ball around? Do you think that people will think Adams is having a worse season if he has 20% less production at a team like Las Vegas?
Look, we look at a guy like OBJ. He goes to the LA Rams. He's not getting the ball like he did in New York, right? But he won a championship. That's all that matters. And you ask OBJ, would he change any of that? Probably not. Would you rather get the ball or would you rather win a championship? You have to ask yourself that question. Because you could be as important as you were before when you were catching 100 and 150 balls versus now you're catching 60, 70 balls, but you're winning a championship. Which one are you going to take? I'd rather catch those 60 to 70 balls and win a championship.
Of course, Vernon Davis joining us. Perloff and I have been lucky to interview a lot of professional athletes over the course of our career. But when you get a professional athlete talking about their high school days, it's just a different level of, I don't know. Can you describe it? You guys, and not to paint with a broad brush, but professional athletes talk about their high school days in a way that is just different than college and the pros.
Oh my gosh. When I talk about my high school days, my heart gets warm. Oh my goodness. I remember vividly. I remember walking to Dunbar Senior High School. Here I am, a sophomore. You have guys like Joshua Cribbs, who was an outstanding returner for the Cleveland Browns at the time. And they're just like in awe of me because I'm faster than everybody and everyone. So I remember that moment walking onto that track stood out to me, and I'll never forget it.
Now, how far did you go? I know you were an all-Metro selection. Did you guys win the state title?
We did twice. I think we won twice. I played with him one year, Josh, and but we won twice. Won the city title. We called it the Turkey Bowl.
Man, well, and you are a legend in the DC area. Then you go on to Maryland, and then, of course, a fantastic pro career that you end up finishing up in DC as the returning, the returning legend, which is awesome. You can go to sportsawards.usatoday.com. Again, July 31st at 8 p.m., the USA Today High School Sports Awards. Sorry, Vernon, one last one just to circle back on the 49ers for a second. You were mentioning about Trey Lance and having Jimmy G in the room could be great because you have two quarterbacks. And if something happens, then you could have Jimmy G. But, thinking about this through a veteran's eyes, you have the 49ers. You guys still had a lot of success going to the NFC Championship game last year. if Lance struggles and Jimmy is sitting there, does that become like an issue in the locker room where veterans might say, listen, I don't know how much longer my career is going to be. We got to go with the more sure thing. And then like a fraction can kind of happen.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. I've seen it happen many times. You look at Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. Alex was playing well. I mean, I thought he was a tremendous quarterback. Everyone was rooting for him. We didn't know what Kaepernick could do, but he came in. He was playing really well. Alex didn't get his spot back. No, that's just what it is. Now, when I was in Denver, Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler. Remember that?
Yep.
Peyton went out one game and he didn't perform as well. He threw interception after interception. Brock comes in. Brock does well. Now Brock's the starter. He's the man. Everyone's rallying behind him. Brock messes up again. He's going down, right? Now Peyton comes back again. Brock doesn't get his starting spot. So it's just like it can be this. It can be a lot of this. But at the end of the day, depending on the person, their character, their integrity, guys like Alex Smith and Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler, those guys, they were still hanging out, going to dinner. It's what it is, right? If I can't go out and outperform someone, then he deserves to take that spot. Now, there's a lot of situations, too, where it's out of your control. The coaches decide to use this guy. Hey, when you're in that position, when you're the guy on the other side, you just have to really make sure that you really stay positive and know that your time is coming again.
Feels like a lot on the coaches, too, to kind of sell that to everybody in the locker room. Last one for you is, you mentioned Kaepernick. He got brought in by the Las Vegas Raiders. They gave him a tryout, and then we never heard anything again. Do you feel like that was his last best chance to make an NFL roster?
Yeah, I think you, Guy, I don't know the number of years. I think it's been like probably 3 years now since Colin has been out of the league, 3-4 years. But I think his time is winding down. You know, the older you get, unless you're Chris Winkie. You know, I played with him back when I was in 49ers. They brought him in. He was almost 45 years old, right?
That college eligibility was
but those years, that's over with. That's not happening anymore. But Colin is one, you know, his time is winding down. And I think if he's not getting a shot between now and next year, I don't think it's going to happen.
Vernon, congratulations on what was a fantastic NFL career. You've gone on to do so many incredible things since, the latest co-hosting the 2022 USA Today High School Sports Awards. Again, July 31st at 8. You can watch it on the USA High School Sports Awards website, YouTube, USA Today channel. It's available on most smart TVs and devices. Have a great time. Enjoy it, and hope to catch up with you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.